For more, let's cross to London. Arthur Asseraf lectures in modern French history at Cambridge University. He's the author of Electric News in Colonial Algeria. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
Your thoughts, Emmanuel Macron, did he go not far enough, too far, issuing that apology over Boumendjel, but not going so far as to a blanket apology for colonial era crimes?
This is obviously a positive step. The assassination of Ali Boumendjel by the French army in 1957, which was covered up as a suicide, was widely known but not recognized since 1957. It was really a very open secret. So this is obviously a welcome step. It's part of a wider strategy by the president when it comes to the very contentious issue of memorial politics over the Algerian War and more broadly over French colonialism. Macron, encouraged by this report by the historian Benjamin Stora, has taken the approach that individual and specific incidents can be recognized. He already did this in 2018 by recognizing the responsibility of the French state in the assassination of somebody else during the Algerian War, which was the mathematician Maurice Audin. And so in a way, the recognition of Ali Boumendjel fits into this previous pattern and is not a major shift. It's good. I think it's important for historical truth to be acknowledged, but it is not a major shift.
And you saw in that report, Arthur, you saw in that report that Algerian academic saying, look, we're tired of our side instrumentalizing history as well. So is it bad faith on both sides and it's one all?
No, I don't think that's an accurate description because, first of all, there are not two sides, right? This is not a conflict between France and Algeria. The independence war ended in 1962. Algeria is independent. There are politics in France and there are politics in Algeria. The recognition by the French government of crimes that it committed during the Algerian war and during colonialism are important for accountability in France because it means that the French government was able to go beyond democratic rule of law and consistently did so in Algeria. So this is very important for French politics. This is not just about tit for tat between France and Algeria. And of course, there are issues in the way in which this is remembered in Algeria, but that's in some ways a separate issue. The French government needs to do more on this in order to improve the political situation in France.
All right, let me read you the reaction of the French far-right leader, Marine Le Pen, who, according to opinion polls, will again be facing Emmanuel Macron in a little over a year's time in the runoff of a presidential election. She says, while sectarianism and Islamism gain ground and feed off our weaknesses, Macron continues to send disastrous signs of repentance, division, and self-hate. We must quickly renew at the head of the state with pride in being French! Exclamation point. Your reaction?
Marine Le Pen's father, Jean-Marie Le Pen, was closely involved in similar events. He was a paratrooper in Algiers at this time. His knife was found in the early 2000s after having been used to harm a man. So it is understandable that she would take this position. This is not surprising. This is what the far right has always said. And she is just like her father in this respect. What I would say is that if she does not think that France should apologize for crimes, maybe they should not have committed the crimes in the first place.
What about when it is Benjamin Stora, the historian who says it, or the historian Pierre Nora, who's his contemporary, who are both saying, no, a blanket apology isn't the answer?
So this is a slightly more complex position than the one that Marine Le Pen has taken. What they say is that what's particularly controversial is the word apology. And indeed, one can discuss whether the word apology is the best word, apology to who has to accept these excuses. The Algerian people do not need excuses from France, right? They can make up their own narrative, and they have done so. I think that there is a problem in dissolving these events in a number of very, very small and specific incidents, like the assassination of Ali Boumendjel. Because what we're talking about here is a system of repression. that was active not only for 7 years during the Algerian War, but through 132 years of colonialism, dispossession, and systemic violence. And that is what is not being acknowledged. And that is important not in order to get the pardon of the Algerian people who do not need this, but in order for the French Republic to move beyond this and to hopefully not commit similar mistakes again.
Arthur Asseraf, lecturer in modern French history at the University of Cambridge, thank you so much for speaking with us on France 24.